everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I thought I would do like an updated everyday makeup routine. It isn't really that updated, to be honest, because I don't really do that much different stuff, but basically I got a comment on one of my like older videos, like from like a couple months ago, and she asked if I could like list the products I use to do my makeup in the description. And I was gonna do it, and then I thought, you know what, why don't I just sit down and tell you what products I'm using, like right now, like this is current, because the products I think I was using back then I don't really use as much anymore, I don't think, or like I've changed a couple things out so they're not going to be the exact same. But yeah, it's a beautiful Friday. Well, I say beautiful, this is not raining today because literally the weather this week has been trash. But yeah, I just thought I would sit down and get ready for the day. Basically I'm wearing this really cute top. Can you see? Hold on. It says, oh my god, my boobs look large. I got this from ASOS and it will be in an upcoming clothing haul which you'll see soon. So have I showed you my hair? I dyed it back brown. I feel like I've already showed you this, but my hair's fully brown again, so that's fun. First thing I always do is my brows. It's never changed. I always do my brows first. I think the only time I've ever not done my brows first was when I first started doing my makeup like properly. I just always have to do my brows first, otherwise my face just doesn't go right. I'm going to tie my hair back quickly just so that it's out of my way. I like to have all of my makeup, like the things that I'm using, like laid out in front of me. I just find it a lot easier to like visualize all my steps. I don't know if that makes sense, but so recently I have been like gelling my brows up. Obviously everyone's into that like bushy brow thing at the moment, so I like to do it as well, and I use my Got To Be Glued gel. I've seen so many people saying this is really bad for you and it's going to make your skin bad and all this stuff, but like it works. Whoops, I dropped something. It works perfectly fine for me. I don't have a lot of breakouts around my eyebrows. I have breakouts like generally anyway, but it doesn't make my brows weird, and it doesn't like pull any of the hairs out either. Like it works just fine. So I normally just take it on this like little ass spoolie. Funnily enough, I got these spoolies when I have my lash extensions. I'm a tramp. I basically just, because I don't have my lash extensions, I just thought I might as well just use them on my brows. So I cleaned them and now I use them on my brows, but because they're like the perfect size, it's really nice and small, you can really get in there with the, you know, it's just, so yeah, what I like to do is I like to coat one brow at a time, like just fully coat it with the gel, and then as the gel starts to like harden a bit, that's when I go in and like form the shape. My brows are like honestly beyond the point of saving. They're just never going to be even, they're never going to be perfect, so I just make do with what I've got basically. They're just a bit of a mess. So yeah, I like to brush the front hairs up because I don't have awfully like square eyebrows. Like naturally my eyebrows are kind of like, I don't know, round at the front, I guess. The hairs at the front do like stick up with gel, so I like to just do that. And then again, just fluff out the ends. And then I kind of just brush them all to the side. And then there you have, oh, very red kind of brow. Do you see what I'm trying to do here? I don't know, but that's literally how I do my brows anyway. I did my makeup yesterday just for fun. My eyebrows have never looked better than they did last night. They looked incredible, like incredible. And I'm so sad at, you know when you have like really good makeup on and you don't want to wash it off? Oh, honestly. So yeah, just do the same thing on the other side. I just brush all the hairs up. Like my brow hairs are really long as well, because I generally trim them like quite often, but I haven't trimmed them in a while, so they're very long right now. So that's kind of what they look like for right now. I'm pretty happy with how they look, to be honest. Pretty simple. Then I go in with a wipe and I just wipe around my skin so there's no gel on my actual skin, just where it doesn't look very cute. And I'm aware that my skin looks very red right now, but it's fine. I'm about to cover up with a shit ton of foundation, so that's basically the start of my face. Usually I'll put setting spray on either before or after I do this step. Today I'm just going to do it after just because I didn't think about it. So I don't use a primer. I haven't used a primer in a really long time. I tried to use primers. I have really large pores and I've tried to use like pore minimizers and like things like Professional. They don't make a difference to me. Like I don't notice a difference in my makeup, and I also feel like it kind of makes around my nose area oilier. Honestly, I think it does, and my makeup separates a lot quicker when I use that stuff, so I don't use primers really ever. But I'll normally just take any setting spray. So the setting spray I'm using is this one. can see it, hold on. And then I just basically spray my whole face. And I started doing this because I noticed that when I did it before, my face was like slightly tacky. It's in my mouth, ew. I've kind of noticed that it just helped my foundation stick a bit better. And I'm using an old phone case to fan my face, by the way. Okay, I feel like that's good enough. It's as good as it's gonna get. Next step is I like to conceal the underneath of my brow, so carve it out. The concealer that I use is this one by Collection. Let it focus. So it's the Last Imperfection concealer. They changed the packaging on this and I did not know what shade I was. But I have, this is Buttermilk, so number 10. So what I like to do is, it's running very low. I like to get some and put it onto the back of my hand. And then I take a flat brush, which is just, this one is from Beige Cosmetics. I got these like a really long time ago. And I basically pack the concealer onto my hand, onto the brush. I could never do like proper tutorials, this is so hard. And then I just carve out my brow. So I normally start at the end and then just sort of like work my way back, and then I always blend the concealer down. And this brush is really nice because it blends and packs at the same time, so it just looks really full coverage. I really love it. And then that's basically how I carve it out and make sure it's all a decent shape. So this eyebrow I carve slightly higher up because my brow hairs sit lower than this eyebrow. It's really weird. And another thing about this concealer is it dries really fast. So sometimes when I try to like blend it out, it doesn't move. So what I like to do is take a bit more on this Real Technique brush, and I sort of just like buff the concealer like slightly more, just so that it's not so harsh basically. I'm relatively happy with how that looks. And then I'll just do the other side. Okay, so this is what we're working with. Hopefully you can see that. So then normally what I'll do is, if I have excess concealer on the back of my hand, I'll take that same brush and I'll just go over any areas where I've got like a lot of redness like from spots, which I have a lot of right now because I woke up this morning with just loads of breakouts like everywhere. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my brows in. So recently, crazy for me, I've been using a pencil to do my brows, which I never ever usually do. Normally I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills dip brow pomade. However, I've been loving a pencil recently. So the one that I'm currently using is the NYX micro brow pencil in the shade Espresso, which I don't know if it's the darkest one or if it's like the one up from the darkest one, but it's really nice because it's got like a really fine little, you probably can't even see it, but it's like the tiniest little tip, which is just so cute. So what I do is I basically just fill in all the sparse areas. Like I don't go too heavy. I just kind of lightly fill them in, which is so wild for me to say because like I have a history of having incredibly dark, thick eyebrows. Like looking back on some of my videos and some of my old like Instagram posts, I'm like, Jesus Christ, Brittany. But I like to do the filling in after I've carved it out, just so that I can follow the shape, and it's a lot easier. So there we go. That's then basically done. That literally took me like 5 minutes. Now I've filled in my brows, I'm gonna do my foundation. So I use 2 different foundations depending on like the day, I guess. So the first one that I always use is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the matte and poreless one. I love a matte foundation. I don't like dewy. I don't enjoy it. It's not really my vibe. The current shade I've got is 250, but I actually think this is too dark for me still because I'm very pale. And I don't actually know, like, I think it's 235 is the real shade I need. I don't know, but I love this foundation. This is like a holy grail for me. I've used it for years, like for years and years, and I still love it. And the other one that I use is the Milani, hello, will you focus? It's the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. And this is in the shade Sand Beige. This one is more of my shade, so I think I'm going to use this one today. This foundation is incredible. Like, it's such full coverage. It is very thick. So if you don't like feeling foundation on your skin, like, you might not like it that much. But for me personally, chef's kiss, it's beautiful. But, you know, so I take like a few pumps. It's like running out. I take a few pumps on the back of my hand. And recently I've been using a brush to apply it first. So this brush is just by NYX, and it's just like a really thick, dense brush. So I'll take some on it and I'll just like dot it on my face and I just start blending it in. So yeah, I'll just use this the brush first, and I just go round and sort of just blend that onto my face. Make sure I take it down my neck as well. And then I take my sponge. This is the Real Technique sponge, which is dirty right now, so I'm just going to quickly give it a spray with some water. So I take my sponge and then I go over the top, and then I just blend over the top of it, just so that it definitely is like, you know, fully blended. And that just sort of gives it a nice finish as well. And then I do my forehead. I don't know why, but I always do my makeup in halves. Like, I always do the bottom half and then the top half of my face. I don't know why, but I've always done it like that. Even when I'm taking my makeup off, I wipe off the bottom half, then I wipe off the top half. I don't know. So I just did a couple more pumps of the foundation. I'm now gonna carve out the top of my brows, and I just sort of like to apply the foundation everywhere, but I'm using the flat brush to do this, just like that, so it's a nice clean sort of line. Yeah, and then I sort of just blend around with this brush. I'm gonna do the other brow, just add a bit of foundation down the middle, just like that. And then I'm gonna take my brush again and just go in and blend out my forehead, just like that. And then I'm gonna take my sponge again and just go in and just blend everywhere. Sorry, my camera just cut off. So I'm just like, what I like to do once I put my foundation on is I just like to assess my face, see if I like how my foundation looks, and I'll go in, and if my brows look like they need touching up, I'll touch them up and blah blah blah, just before I like put my concealer on and stuff. So yeah, I just make sure all my foundation's properly blended in, and then I like to conceal. So the concealer that I've been using recently is the Revolution, you can see this, oh god, Supersize Conceal and Define. She knows. The shade I have is C6, which is very light, and I basically bought the wrong shade, but I didn't want to have to buy another one, so I thought, you know what, let me just use this super light shade until it runs out. So it is like, it's very light, you'll see in a sec. So I like to put it under my eyes. I put it on my chin and on my upper lip, and that's kind of really the only places that I need to conceal. And then recently I have been cream contouring. So I'm using this old dusty Morphe palette, which is probably like past its use date, but here we are. And I take that same brush I used to do my foundation, and I basically take, this is so embarrassing, I basically just take a mixture of this shade and this shade, and then I basically just go on my cheeks. So I don't contour. I've never really contoured, to be honest. Like, I don't like how the cool tone looks on my skin, so I just like to basically bronze up my face. So I just do this and sort of just add, you can't even tell, but it does make a difference, I swear. And I just add that around my face, like on my cheeks, and then I also add a little bit on my forehead as well. You can't really, you can notice a slight difference, but it's not like a massive one, which is kind of what I like. It's quite subtle. But I like to do this whilst my concealer's sitting, because I feel like if I leave my concealer for a little bit, it like adds to the coverage. Then I like to blend out my concealer. So I like to blend out my chin first. And I take the concealer onto my eyelids as well, just because I have very dark eyelids, so I like to get rid of as much of that colour. So there we go, that's basically that blended out. And then once I've done that, I like to set my face really fast, because my face creases so quickly, like really quickly. So the powder I'm using is the RCMA, hold on, can you see this? Anyway, it's the RCMA no colour powder. I used to use a Rimmel loose powder. It was like my favourite go-to, and it basically sold out for like months and I couldn't buy it. So I decided to get this one because I know a lot of people were talking about it, and I do like it. It's actually quite nice, but I feel like once this runs out, I want to try a different one, just because I don't really know. I've tried quite a few loose powders, and I feel like the fully translucent ones are the best ones, because, well, the ones that have like a slight pigment always make my under eye like crumble almost. They just never set my face very well. So and what I like to do is I take like an old lid. This is the old Rimmel lid for my old powder, and I basically tip some into it, like a decent amount, and then I just go back in and blend out any creases I would have got, and I set my under eyes and around my nose first, just because they're the areas that crease the hardest. And I do still bake, I saw a video on TikTok, right, and this guy was basically like saying you shouldn't bake, it's so bad for you, like it's blah blah blah, it's not good for your makeup. But I'm not gonna stop doing it because literally my makeup doesn't stay if I don't bake. Like, it just doesn't. It literally disappears off my face like straight after, and it creases so easily if I don't. So I always bake. I take it around my mouth, around my smile lines, and on my chin, on my upper lip, everywhere basically. I go on my nose. I always set my nose like this. I then go back in with that brush I used for my foundation and my thingy, and I'll just blend out any creases I have on my forehead, and I set my forehead. Just the centre part, because I have a lot of like, I'm a very expressive person in my face, so I have a lot of deep lines. And then I also set my eyelids, because my eyelids crease a lot as well. So I'll take that buffing brush and I'll just blend out all the creases that I have and all the bits where it's gone a bit fucked, you know. And then I set my eyelids as well. I used to set over my eyebrows as well, but I basically stopped doing that once I started using the gel, because it basically makes the gel like flake really badly. So, and to be honest, I don't really have to do it. My brows will stay on just as they are, so it's fine. Now that we've done this step, what I like to do is take a sort of fluffy powder brush. This one is from number 7. It's just like a random brush, and I'll take whatever excess powder I have left in the little lid, and I just go in and set the rest of my face. I'm quite lucky that, like, well, I say lucky, the centre part of my face is the only part that really creases or gets overly oily, so the rest of it I can sort of just powder like normal. Next thing is my bronzer. So the bronzer that I use is completely and utterly fucked, but it is a Revolution bronzer. It is the Mega Bronzer, and I use the shade 02 Warm. I love this bronzer. I've hit pan. I've used it for a while and it's just so nice. Like, it's like the perfect bronzer colour. And I go in with like an angled brush and I just bronze up my cheeks basically. And I like a lot of bronzer. I always have, I always will. It's just, I like looking warm, you know. I take that on my cheeks and around my forehead, and then once I've done it there, with that same powder brush, I'll lightly dust off the powder off my nose, and I take that same brush and I just bronze up my whole entire nose. I used to sort of do like just down the sides and around the bottom, but I just want my whole nose to be brown. That's basically what I do for bronzer. And then blush, I'm actually using, again, this Revolution Makeup Revolution, sponsor me, hello. It's actually like a highlighter palette, but it has this really nice sort of blush colour in it. So I'll take that on like another just different brush, and I basically just put that on like the higher points of my face, because it's like a little bit sparkly, it's kind of pretty, you know. This colour is a bit dark for me, to be honest, but I do like it. And then I take that on like the bottom of my nose. See, look, nice pink rosy nose, it's so beautiful, just like that basically. Then I like to start to brush away the powder from like the lower portions of my face, you know. Whoa, why does it look like that? What have I done? In person that isn't like a thing. Why is that a thing on camera? Maybe I overdid it, I don't know what's going on. Somehow I've ruined my makeup on this side and I don't really know what I've done. But it doesn't look that bad in person, and I just made it worse again. What is going on? This side doesn't look that bad, does it? I'm gonna cry. Let's move swiftly on, because this is gonna piss me off. Usually that is kind of what happens anyway. Like, I normally always put something, too much of something on, and I end up looking like a clown. So next thing I do is I highlight. So I'm using that same palette, and I'm using like the gold and like this shade here. Just mix them together. And then I take that on my nose, so it's a little bit shiny. And then I take that on my cheekbones as well. And the brush I'm using is a Morphe brush. I don't have the number on it because it's gone. But it's just like a fluffy-ish kind of brush, you know? So yeah, I just put... This cheek looks so fucked. What did I do wrong? This one looks beautiful, but this side just looks crazy. Then what I like to do is I like to wipe the rest of my bake off. But I don't really wipe it because I just don't like, I'm scared that it's gonna like smudge my face. So I'll basically just pat the powder away. And I like to do this after I highlight, just in case the highlight's too bright, so the powder can kind of like tone it down. Then I'm gonna use my setting spray again, and I'm just gonna set everywhere. And again, I use an awful lot because in my mind it makes sense. And then I just fan it dry, and I feel like it just helps the makeup to really like sit on my skin like better, and it doesn't look as powdery as well, so it's a nice little step, you know. Now what I like to do, I don't always do this, and I don't know if I want to do it today, to be honest, but I will normally go in with my bronzer again, and I'll put it on my eyelids just so that my eyes don't look so like pale. But I don't know if I really want to do that today. Can I be bothered? I don't think so. I'm basically on to like the last steps now. So what I like to do is curl my lashes. I never used to use an eyelash curler ever, and I just started using it just because I wanted to actually see if it makes a difference. So yeah, I curl my lashes for a couple seconds, and I have to be careful because I need to change like the pad bit that goes in, do you know what I mean, like the thing on it, because this one's got a lot of makeup on it and it's sticky, so if I rip the thing off, my lashes are gone forever. So yeah, I just lightly curl my lashes. And then oh no, my battery's flashing. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna wipe my lips off with all the foundation. Okay, so I basically had to finish my makeup off camera because my camera battery was flashing. I'm now looking at the screen and there's no battery sign. So I don't know what just happened, but it's fine. So what I basically did was I did my lashes. I only wear mascara. I've tried lashes before. I used to wear lashes all the time when I'd go out, and I tried to get some to wear like on like an everyday basis. They just don't, I don't know if I'm not finding the right ones that suit my face, basically. So I need to sort of have a look and see if I can find some ones that actually look nice on me. Because I'm not opposed to wearing lashes, like I kind of like the look, you know. The mascara that I use is the Collection, now my batch is flashing, okay. The Collection Lash, I still can't say it, Lash Surge Mascara in Ultra Black. That's my favourite one. On my lips, I'm using NYX liner in Nude Truffle, and I use the Barry M Coco Loco lip gloss, one of my favourites, and it's also disgusting because I always wear brown lip liner, so that's the only one I use for that. And yeah, that's it. Basically, that's my everyday makeup look done. Sorry if I'm speed talking. I'm trying not to like let the camera cut out. Yeah, I'm trying to do this so the camera doesn't cut out. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting to know how I do my makeup every day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more videos in the future. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.